Hi guys! Obviously, since the TikTok ban, all the makeup influencers are switching over to either Instagram or YouTube. So here I am. Anywho, I did get all of the new Patrick Ta blush launches. So let's do a little makeup review. I'm filming with the back camera on my phone, which I'm not used to because for years on TikTok, I just filmed with the front camera on the TikTok app. So you might see my skin in HD, and I'm not exactly ready for that. But anywho, so before we get started with the review, I have a drier skin type. I have used his formula before, my favorite blush formula of all time. I'm a neutral undertone, and I am a bright spring, so some of these colors would look good on me, some of them might not look the greatest. So if any of you guys are similar to me, maybe you'll find a color that would work for you. Oh, and I also did get his new brush to try out. I've never actually used any of the Patrick Ta brushes before, but I hear really good things, so let's get started. Okay, so I did do most of my base. I know Patrick Ta likes to do the powder and the cream. I don't personally like doing that myself. I like to have a base for the powder to go on top of, especially if you're going to go in with a brighter color like this. You'll want something to kind of create like a primer, like you would if you were painting your wall. You would need like a base primer, and then you would go on with the actual paint color on top. So I will be going in with the cream first, and I will be going in with that new Patrick Ta brush, and I'm just going to start kind of pressing it into the brush until it's like fully saturated. Okay, so that is what, here I gotta do the whole YouTube hand thing. That is what my brush looks like. If you are worried that it's gonna be too much, you can of course press some of the excess off of the back of your hand before you go in directly on the cheek. And I like to do just like pressing motions, and I start on like the apple of my cheek since I do have a round face shape. And then I'll start going in circles, and I'll kind of take it into where I put my concealer, which is another reason why I do my concealer after I do my cream blush, just to clean it up a little bit and to make it more of a seamless blend. And then I of course do take it up towards my ear. The shade is really pretty. And of course the Patrick Ta creams do have like a nice healthy glow to it. If you're not a big fan of the glow, of course you can set it with powder and then it'll be a non-issue and you'll still get that really pretty color. So if you're not familiar with my personal makeup style, I always like to take a little bit of whatever's left on the brush, and I will take the blush on like my temples, the bridge of my nose, and my chin, just so we can get an overall more balanced look rather than just having pink on your cheeks and that's it. And then you can always lightly tap over it with your foundation brush, just so it doesn't look so crazy. I will be going in with concealer just to kind of clean up the blush. This is the House Labs concealer. I've been really digging this so far. I blended out the concealer, and I am going to go back in with a tad bit more of the cream. So I'm noticing, comparing to the other blush shades that I have from Patrick Ta, that the red cream is more sheer than his others, which, to be honest, that is a good thing, because you don't want something like this bright and intense to be that pigmented on the cheek, or it'll take forever to blend it out. Okay, so I just set my entire face. I did my powder bronzer. Now it's time to go in with the powder. This is where I'm seeing some people have issues, especially with the brighter shades like this. So I'm just going to dip it in the brush. Honestly, not a lot of pigment's coming off of it like everyone's saying it is. I'm gonna tap off the excess. And I know he was saying that you kind of want to start pressing it into your hand just to make sure it's evenly distributive. But I feel like I'm not getting that much pigment out of it. I could be wrong though. Anywho, we're just going to try it. Also, I like to do tapping motions instead of swiping and swirling, because I feel like that could potentially cause patchiness. And I am gonna bring this up to the concealer again, just because that's how I like doing it. That is pretty bright compared to the cream, which again, I'm pretty sure from the reviews, everyone's saying the same thing. am going to go back with my foundation brush just to kind of blend it a little bit better. But it's cute though. I like it. That's cute. Okay, and I'm just gonna go with whatever's left on this, and I'm just gonna start tapping. You definitely, if you're pale like me, you need to go lighter handed. If you're more like, you have a darker complexion, you could probably just go and go right in. But for me, we gotta go light-handed. She's bright, but she is very cute. Now this is definitely a punchier blush. So if you're someone who likes more of like the nude, lighter pink blushes, this is not going to be for you. So I am gonna go in with the Luminous Finishing Powder from Hourglass in the Hourglass palette. They do sell these individually, by the way. Alrighty, I'm back with my makeup mostly finished. We are gonna do another small layer of the cream on top of the powder, just to add a little bit of the glow back. And this is what She Left Me on Red looks like on me. Day 2 of trying the blushes. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, so please excuse my voice. But today we're gonna try She Knows Who She Is. This is the one I am scared to try. But let's just go in with the cream. I feel like we're getting a little bit more pigment than we did with the red. So I am just gonna, we're gonna see how this goes. I am gonna take off the excess, the back of my wrist, and hope that that helps. So right off the bat, I don't think this shade is gonna be the most flattering on my undertone. Again, I'm a true spring, so I tend to look really good in the more brighter, punchier shades. If you're in autumn though, I feel like this would look really good on you, but we'll have to wait and see until the very end because honestly, I just feel really pale. I do have bronzer on, but I need powder bronzer just to finish everything. So we'll see at the end. We are gonna try the powder now. I'm gonna take it on. Yeah, this one's gonna have a lot of pigment, I think. I feel like it looks like I got punched in the face. Great. I'll be honest, I think the iPhone camera is doing me so dirty because I look so pale on camera, but in person it's not that bad. Again, I don't think this color is for me. I do think it's washing me out slightly, and I look awful in a nude lip, but with the entire makeup look being so neutral, I can't wear what compliments me the most, so we're just gonna have to suck it up for today. But I am going with the cream on top of the powder in hopes that it gives me a little bit more life. But again, I don't think it's gonna do that. So this is She Knows Who She Is on me. I do think for me this is gonna be a return just because this is not the most flattering shade on me, but it is a lot more wearable than it looks in the pan. So if you're more of an autumn girl, like Black Honey from Clinique looks really good on you, I would say give this one a try. Alrighty guys, we're back for day 3, and today we're gonna try She Goes to the Gym. Something tells me, and I could be wrong, this is gonna be my least favorite shade, but let's try her on and see. Alrighty, moment of truth. Actually guys, I don't mind her. Also, I would like to add that I did change the settings on my lights, so if something looks different, that's why. The iPhone camera is really pulling super cool, so I have just my yellow lights on, and it looks, I mean, it still looks like cool toned, but it looks a lot better than before. But I am just gonna go in with the powder now. This one, it is stated that it is a cool tone mauve, which to be honest, cool tones don't look great on me, but the cream looked surprisingly good, so let's see how this pulls. I like it. I do have a little patch right here. I'll be honest, I think it's the brush's fault. I think that this brush is too dense for how pigmented these blushes are. So instead of like fluffing the color, it's just like putting a bunch of product just on one spot. While if I were to use, let's say, a super fluffy brush like this, which you can see the difference. Like this doesn't have as many hairs and it's much more flexible. So this is really good at like diffusing the pigment on the cheek, while this one, it just packs it on more pigmented. So I do have that patch there. I'm gonna see if I can buff it out with my foundation brush, but let's see how it goes. Okay, now I'm gonna top with the cream. I couldn't really get that patch to go away. So I'm gonna see if I put a little bit of the cream on top of it, if that would help. That's a really pretty shade. I'm surprised I like it so much. And this is how She Goes to the Gym looks like on me. Alrighty guys, it's day 4, final day, and today we are trying the shade She's Seductive. I do feel really hopeful about this shade because it is the most wearable shade for most skin tones. Of course, we're gonna go right in with the cream, and we're just gonna go ahead and pat her on. Now this one is described as a warm nude. She's cute. So this is what the cream looks like on. The shade is very similar to the shade Not Too Much. I do think the powder side is a little bit deeper, and of course this has a tad bit more peachy undertones than Not Too Much. Not Too Much looks more like a neutral rosy beige shade. But let's go ahead, finish the rest of the makeup, and then we'll do the powder. Actually, I did build up the color a little bit, of course, and I'm going in with the cream now over top. This one, I don't know if I like the red one more or this one. Like, this is such a beautiful shade. Alrighty guys, that's all 4 shades of the new Patrick Top blushes. Now for my final thoughts, the formulation, same as normal, very pigmented. I will say the brush itself, I don't think you necessarily need this. I think if you're more in the fair to medium category, at least with the 2 deeper shades, this might be a little bit too dense to get a nice flawless application because it's going to put too much pigment on your face. Now if you're more of a deeper skin tone and you like have troubles with your blushes showing up, this would be nice for you. Now color wise, my favorite shade I've decided is going to be the She Left Me on Red, and then the She Seductive. Third would go to She Goes to the Gym, which that one was more of the cooler tone pink, which I wasn't expecting to like. And last place goes to She Knows Who She Is, which this one was that super deep shade. A lot of people were saying that this is going to look good on everybody. On me, it kind of looked like I got punched in the face because it turned into more of a cool toned, lighter mauve, which obviously that's not what it looks like on the pan. So this color just did not look good on me. I'm sure it's going to look good on a bunch of other people, but unfortunately for me, I will be returning this. And thank you guys for bearing with me as I figured out like my camera setup and lighting situation. I think I have it figured out now. Thank the good Lord. But now that TikTok isn't banned, I'll still of course be posting on TikTok. So if you are new here and haven't seen my TikToks, my username is at kaylagracemua_. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.